Digits BB. Welcome back everyone to Digits BB. Sorry about the weird music cutting in and out there. I figure it brings good atmosphere to the stream to have the Night in the Woods title music playing during the opening title card thing, but that also involves leaving the game window open. If I click out of the window at all, then it just cuts out the game music, so that gets a little bit awkward, but we're here. Once again, playing Night in the Woods, working on the Seriously 100% Journal Completion Achievement. We're starting the game from part 2 in the story. And the next thing we need to do today is read the first Selmer's poem. So, I guess nobody's really tuning in yet, but just for the start of today's stream, I can just remind everyone that the purpose of these playthroughs of Night in the Woods at this point of the channel is just to breeze through the story as quickly as I can and focus on just getting journal entries. So for the most part, I'll just be mashing the A button through cutscenes and skipping most of the dialogue, and not necessarily doing all of the gameplay in the game if it doesn't contribute anything to the journal. But little things here and there like the Selmer's poems and maybe some of my favorite cutscenes, I'll take the time to actually read through them and voice them. Because it has been a while since I've done a real playthrough of the game on the channel. Hey May. Hey Selmers. Did I see you with a journal the other day? Oh yeah, doctor's orders. Yeah, Dr. Hank has me doing one too. Oh okay, did you have anger problems too? I was stealing painkillers from the Ham Panther pharmacy. Oh geez. So, Dr. Hank sees journals as a general cure-all. Is it working for you? Nope. Rehab and the program do, though. And I've become a very good poet. Want to hear one? Yeah. My heart is a dankness. But when I see you, I feel I feel a thankness. Wow, that's really nice. When I feel a blueness, all I need is a you-ness. That's very romantic. It's about my horse. Oh. We're just friends. Mr. Chazakov's up on the roof again. Pretty sure he's gonna break his damn neck. Do we need to meet Chazikov today? I'll have to check the guide real quick. But we got our first Selmer's image here. Let me double check with the guide. We do have to meet with Chazikov today. Okay. Let's make our way up to the roof. I can do it from over here, can't I? I completely missed the entirety of this Chazikov side quest in my first playthrough of this game. There's a lot you can miss if you're not really paying attention and climbing everywhere you can possibly go within the town. Not quite. Can I make this jump from here? No, you need to go all the way across, I guess. Alright, so Chazikov will just breeze through this with the constellations. And there's May's eyes going through trauma for the first time. constellation looks like May's ancestor holding the head of Lori's ancestor. Alright, one more. Oh, Greg rules, okay. Or Greg drowned, okay. God, we got 2 different constellations, right? Dora and Castes. Next thing we need to do is talk to the fisherman in the tunnel and check the mural in the subway tunnel. But it just occurred to me, okay, I'm just making sure that my mic has actually been unmuted for this entire stream. After that embarrassment yesterday of like 2 people tuning in, that was, oh my god, what's going on with the frames. Of people tuning in and me talking for like 2 or 3 minutes with my mic muted was quite embarrassing. Everybody missed out on the wonderful things I had to say. Had to vote same again. Terrible. Alright, so I talk to the fisherman and we get a picture of him. Honey, I'm home. Does this lady here, the elder who tells the stories, does she contribute anything to the journal? I don't remember. Maybe she doesn't. Is this where we interact with the mural? Doesn't seem like it. Alright, Nuke Possum Springs. Got that. See, then we get to go up to the church for the first time. Part 2 is where the game really starts picking up, like the access to different parts of the town, and a lot of new characters are introduced. Because Part 1 really is the introduction, where there's not really many people to talk to and not much to do, but Parts 2 and 3, there's a lot going on in the game each day, and some stuff that's only available on a given day. We just saw Germ back there, but we have to backtrack a bit, go to the church first. Oh, possibilities. Hello, Brutotherapy, welcome back. We're still working on the journal from Night in the Woods. We're actually playing Night in the Woods now and never touching Demon Tower again. Just focusing on the chill atmosphere and exploring newly accessible areas in the game. Alright, so past the statue and talk to Kate and Bruce. There's the statue. I like these characters a lot too. I can't remember if I ever encountered them in my first playthrough of the game. I think for the most part I skipped checking out the church on my first ever playthrough Night in the Woods. Today's been an alright day. Got all the tests I needed to grade at work, so done with that. I am almost done doing actual work at this point, and I managed to get one large, like, checked bag size suitcase packed up this evening, so I feel good about that, and it makes me feel less guilty about going on more weekend trips this weekend because I've taken the initiative to pack a bunch of stuff away. So glad I was able to do that. Alright, next is talk to Pastor Kate and Bruce again, or did we get... Oh, there's Bruce, okay. Is it just the Bruce image I'm supposed to have right now? Yeah. He looks really sad in this journal picture. Alright, now we go back and find a rooftop next to Lori, is what the guide says to look for. Poor Bruce indeed. Breeder Therapy, I don't think we ever talked about whether you've beaten this game or not. Like, I know that you've played it, but I don't know if you've beaten the full story. Probably won't say what it is, but there is kind of a fan theory about Bruce and his storyline. I do think at a certain point, you should, if you haven't beaten this game, you should probably beat it before watching me play through the later parts of the story, because there's stuff that's probably better experienced if you can play it yourself first. I think the guy is talking about this roof right here with the sleeping cat. Need to line this up right. There we go. Thought roof cat is correct. Roof cat. There we go, roof cat. Next is mallard. Enter the window in roof cat's building and go all the way to the left. Oh, mallard, it's the yeah, the mascot character. Through the window, right? Yeah, the window of the building. Finish your playthrough and you're confused about what happened with the C bit. What do you mean by the C bit? Mallard. Mallard, you're pregnant. Pregnant? Is it possible I could be pregnant? A Luigi board? Using a Luigi board? How to use a Luigi board? Alright, so that's all we needed in this building, right? Then talk to Germ. We've already met Germ. Wait. Have we met Germ at this point in the story? Did he show up to the very first band rehearsal? Did he? I'm trying to remember. Have we actually met Germ anywhere in the story yet? Oh, that bit. Okay, yeah. That part of the game is pretty confusing on a first playthrough. I don't know if I should explain stuff about the game in case new people tune in who would maybe prefer not to have the game spoiled, so I won't talk about that in detail here. But yeah. I mean, if you can imagine what I was going through, the very first time I beat this game actually was I was in part 3 of the story and then continued playing the game on a flight home to visit the US in December of 2019. I was visiting family and friends for the holiday season. And my first time beating The Night in the Woods, playing all the way through part 4, was at like 3 or 4 in the morning after waking up from a long nap of jet lag and being too jet lagged to sleep through the night again. And just playing through the game in bed in the dark, super, super tired, in Japanese. Because my first playthrough of the game was in Japanese, and I really had the hardest time following what was going on at that point in the story. Oh wow, there's actually an invisible wall right here. You have to talk to Germ. You try going through here. You can't even jump above him. He creates invisible walls. This is the first time we've met Germ in the story, isn't it? He wasn't there for the first band rehearsal. I used a Luigi board with my friends in the woods at night. That sounds like an experience. I've never actually, like, seen one of those in person before. Like, I've never used one, let alone, or I've never even, like, seen one, like, up close, let alone done anything with one. Doesn't seem like the same sort of thing I'd really want to get into, to be honest. Having seen certain movies that feature a Luigi board as part of the plot. Alright, and then... now we just go to band practice and play Weird Autumn. Probably unplug my controller for that just to be sure I'm playing it well. This is not where I'm meant to be. The way to start band practice is to go to Snack Falcon, which I just ran right past. Silly. Unplug my controller real quick. I forgot how to talk with the control scheme here. C, okay. Alright, here we go. Alright, I blame all mistakes on lag in the game skipping frames. Unbelievable. I would have played it perfectly were it not for the skip frames. But they're going to say it was pretty good, right? And I was supposed to play it pretty good. Pretty good. Alright, then we get journal entry for playing Weird Autumn well. Do good during band practice, says the achievement guide. Alright, so now we're here at the part where the game can branch into different storylines. So I'll just follow exactly what the guide is doing, which I imagine it's going to be consistent. Let me just double check that it's going to. Which is Greg. Okay, so the walkthrough is going to go with the Greg storyline. So we're going to, I imagine, probably just go with Greg every time for this playthrough. It's good. Greg has one of my favorite storyline cutscenes in the game. Not the one we'll be doing today, but one of his later story arcs. Crimes. Definitely crimes. Oh woo! Crimes. The nightmare eyes. Those who've watched me play this game before will of course know that this dude right here, who looks extremely stoned, is in fact Steve. Steve Scriggins, right? I think that's what his last name was. But I wasn't reading the actual text just now. Alright, let me just make sure what we need to do in this one. We need to do with, we're gonna go with the frog in this one, in this playthrough. The frog animatronic. And they're just talking about hot dogs over there for some reason. Alright guys, can we talk about something other than hot dogs, please? For example, how to progress in the game. Alright, gotta go find the key via platforming. And here's one of May's best lines in the game. I will unlock your ass. Yeah, I heard that about you. So the way the story goes is the actual, the outcome of the story in terms of like how the game ends and all will be the same across playthroughs. It's generally the same story. What you get is you get different friendship storylines you get to see all the way through. So throughout the game in parts 2 and 3, you'll be on each day you could choose to hang out with either B or Greg and view more of their storyline quests, and you can kind of go back and forth between them But towards the very end of the game, at the end of part 3, you'll get to view like the conclusion to the storyline, like one really special cutscene. And you'll only get to see B's story conclusion if you hung out with B more throughout the game, and you see Greg's conclusion if you hung out more with Greg. So depending on which of the storylines you pursued more, you'll get to see a different sort of conclusion to the friendship at the end of part 3. And also there will be slightly different like bonus dialogue at the very end of the game in the last cutscene, depending on which character you hung out more with, and if you did certain other little hidden storylines or dialogues throughout the game. So I would definitely recommend playing through twice, even if you really need to, just breezing through some of the repetitive story like I'm doing, just to see the full B and Greg storylines, because I think both of them are worth seeing all the way through. Alright, so we are taking the frog this time. Oh, and I guess I should mention, since you've beaten the game once before, you'll probably remember that towards the end of part 3, you're doing like those investigations with the characters, and you have like all 3 of them will split up to go to different things. Like Greg goes to like the historical society, and B goes to the graveyard, Angus goes to like the campground. You might remember that you only got to actually go on 2 of those quests before the game just jumps ahead in the story, so you would need to do your second playthrough in order to view the third, whichever one you weren't able to choose during your first playthrough. I'd imagine they got B's. If you remember going to a party with B, that's the end of her story, and that's one of my favorite cutscenes in the game. Like, I would just say, like, my 2 favorite, like, dialogues or storyline parts in the whole game are one part of B's story, which is that party, and then one part of Greg's storyline, which we'll see later in part 2, I think. Do I have to check all of them before I can choose? Go legally brain dead from lack of oxygen due to choking on my entire ass. I've missed the dialogue in this game. I really hope eventually we can see more work from the same studio. I know that they plan on making more games, and they have kind of an interesting business model for what they do as well. Where the people who wrote and co-directed this game, like, back in like 2016 or so, not 2016, the game came out in 2017, it was like 2018 or 2019. They basically made their own like cooperatively owned game studio, so instead of being like a company with like one CEO or one president or something, like everybody who works for the team owns like collective share in the company and has an equal role in making business decisions. I totally did. I need to make sure I actually do this right. Froghead, there we go. Gotta make sure I don't go so fast I miss the correct options. Yeah, I would agree that the kind of principles that they wrote into this game are something they followed in real life with the direction of their team as well, which one can hope will be the future of independent or small studio game design too, or well, I mean big studios for that matter, but because I've heard that the game industry is pretty brutal in terms of the work hours and lack of work-life balance when it comes to finishing projects. This is another bit of gameplay where I actually need to pay attention here. Alright, safe. Alright, but there's more. We're not done. So stressful. Whew, stressful. Alright, that was it. Okay, we're done with that. I don't know if I've ever seen the actual bad outcome you can get with that. Presumably they probably like fall down the stairs or like drop the box or something. But I don't think I've ever failed that before. Alright, we'll just breeze through this here. But more elaboration on Greg's backstory. Yikes, yeah, those working conditions sound unpleasant. Alright, we have another little minigame here. But thankfully our performance in this minigame has no bearing on whether we get a journal entry or not, right? It would not appear so. I've gotten... This will be the last journal entry we get today once this little side quest is over, right? Wait a minute. Shoot! I missed things! Oh my god. I forgot there's a to-do list throughout the day. This is... I really don't like the way this is written out. This guide, where there's a completely separate little to-do list, which is so easy to miss. At the top. That's separate from the actual journal pictures. Oh my god, what am I gonna do? Because the game's not going to let me backtrack. Fuck, what am I going to do right now? Because if I save and quit, we just come back to the middle of Greg's storyline, right? Oh my god. I missed 2 things today. 2 important things. Man, just... The way this game is built for things like this, where you can't backtrack any further in the story by saving and loading in an actual spot that you want to. Ugh, damn it, what am I going to do right now? The 2 things I missed were talking to Mom at church and talking to Lori on the rooftop for the first time, which is like... if we can't do this today, we're going to continually miss other things throughout the entire story. So, damn it, what should I do? Let me think this out for a second and like read into the guide a bit. Well, I guess I can consider it that like I don't need to worry about really getting any of the journal entries I've seen thus far if I've already gotten certain things, if I need to start all over again. But God, this is so annoying. Actually, I'm gonna check something real quick. I'm noticing something in the Steam guide in the game's files. The text manual. Let me look at the location of this game's files on my computer. I'm genuinely curious how it archives all this. Actually, where would I find the game file? Maybe if I check from Steam, like properties file location or something. And there it is. Night in the Woods data. Wow, there's a lot of files in here. What is it talking about in this Steam guide with saving this stuff? I'm just really deciding what I want to do. It's just, this is so annoying with requirements. Keep tower once more. There are so many people complaining about Demon Tower in this Steam Guide's comments. Hello, Funky's Monkey. We're here. We're in a crisis because I forgot to do something in the game today, and that means that I am probably going to have to start this entire playthrough over, but not necessarily repeat everything that I've done previously. Alright, well, you know what? To keep things more organized, I'm just going to open up... I'm going to make a Google Doc for myself and make note of... I'm going to bookmark this Steam guide as well. And I'm going to rely on its system as well to help me through this. So we're going to... Sorry, this is going to be boring for people watching, but I'm going to just jot down and highlight every single journal entry I've definitely gotten so far. Got that one. Actually, here, just copy it like this. Copy, paste some stuff. Got all of those. Got all of these. And then here, copy this over. It looks like I've gotten everything I really need to in part 1 across this attempt. I just need to make sure, and this will probably help paying attention to this guide because they group together the things you need to do in preparation and the journal entries you'll get on the day in a much easier way, much easier to keep track of kind of way. All right, and then man, there really is a lot going on in this first day of part 2 though, which is why it made it so easy to miss stuff. Yeah, so today I missed the part where I need to talk to Mom in the church, which is like super important. Wait, does this guide not account for how you need to talk to Lori? Oh yeah, it does. I just skimmed over that just now. Make sure I like indent that so it's super visible and obvious. Alright, everybody. Well, we're going to have to completely erase and start over on this playthrough, but I have gotten absolutely everything I need in part 1, so we should be fine about part 1. We don't even have to worry about the journal for most of the stuff for this first bit. But good lord, I am so sick of resetting this silly game. Maybe if I follow this walkthrough, it'll be a little bit easier. I'm just super confused about what stuff I've missed in the journal up to this point, to be honest. Alright, so here we are again. The very beginning of the game, the prologue. It's like I would have thought that the only things I would have missed would be the Demon Tower entries, which I did get in Japanese, but I don't really know if the game, for the achievement, if it makes a distinction between an English language playthrough and a Japanese language playthrough in terms of unlocking those journals. It probably shouldn't, but who knows. That is not the vending machine, that is the phone. So interestingly enough, I think I'm going to be following this Steam guide from here on out. Because it seems like in the comments there are people saying they've been able to get this achievement for sure. Following the Steam guide. So I think I'll do that. And the Steam guide actually has you doing the B storyline before you do Greg's. So we're switching gears a bit, and we won't be going back to that side quest we just saw with the robot heads. Because we'll be going all the way through B's storyline first instead, which I should mention that we're going to be doing 2 complete playthroughs of the game for certain journal entries. But beyond that, basically we only need 1 full playthrough, which involves going all the way through B's storyline. And then after that, a full playthrough that involves Greg's storyline, and then from there, the only things we need to do are go through the first day of part 2 again, just to get the remaining 2 robot heads on that first hangout with Greg. Because each one of those robot heads, there are 3 of them, and each one gives you a different image in your journal. It doesn't mean I have to beat Demon Tower again, thankfully, because the way this game works with the journal is that every journal entry you've unlocked at some point while playing this game will still be stored in the game's data. So since I'm absolutely sure that I've beaten Demon Tower once and gotten those pictures in English, I actually don't need to get those again on any successive playthrough. So basically what I'm doing now is I'm going back up I'm catching up to where I was on that first day of part 2 to make sure I talk to Mom and talk to Lori. But I don't even need to bother getting any of the optional journal bits that I've gotten in these streams over the past couple days, because I've gotten them once already, and I know for sure that I have them. So I don't need to worry about them anymore. What's super important that I need to make sure I don't miss, which is why I had to reset just now, is that in addition to there being journal entries that you get on that specific day by talking to someone or examining something, another important thing is to make sure you do certain actions on certain days. Like, you have to talk to a certain character on a certain day to make sure that you can have a dialogue with them like the day after that or something, which is what I missed. I needed to make sure I talked to Mom and talked to Lori, and I missed both of those. Let me just check what I need to do today. I think on the prologue there's nothing you can miss. Maybe that's not true. Maybe we can go to this room with the boxes already. Alright, that should be covered now. I think we can go to bed, right? Yeah, we should be fine. I don't think it would apply for Switch if you're playing this game on Nintendo Switch, because the Switch doesn't even have achievements. These achievements really only matter for playing the game on Steam or PlayStation 4, or I think Xbox. Oops, what did I just do? Alright, so today I'm going to ignore everything in the journal and just focus on doing the actions to catch up to part 2. So I need to make sure I talk to Selmers and Lori. Otherwise, I care about nothing so far. I don't think we need to talk to Mom again on this day, but I'll just make sure to always talk to Mom all the way through in each day anyway, just to be safe. This conversation is just the eels, honey. Unagi. Part 1. I think if I play really fast, I can probably just go all the way through part 1 by the end of stream, and then we'll basically be starting where we left off before. At the beginning of this stream on the first day of part 2. That kid has some strange eyes. Alright, so talk to Selmers. Need to find Lori as well, and she's probably in the next screen over. Or is she gonna be on ground level? I think on this day she is. I don't think she'll be on a roof this time, just because it makes her more obvious. Yeah, she's right there. Alright, Lori right here is she was the death of my previous playthrough. I forgot to speak to her on the first day of part 2, and that is why we had to reset things. As well as needing to talk to Mom at church. Alright, so we have talked to Selmers. And we talked to Lori. Alright, that means we can just finish up this entire day, not do anything else. Great rules, okay. Alright, so we need to play Die Anywhere Else again. Alright, that was pretty good, I must say. Not perfect, apparently. Just pretty good. It was okay. Not bad considering I don't know the song. Dude, I hit like 2 off notes in the entire thing. How perfect do you need me to be? I have gotten perfect on Dining Roast before, and it does give you a different message where May's like, oh, that was pretty much perfect. Alright, pizza. I'm gonna crusty. Crusty! Crusty! Let's see, am I actually going to be able to finish part 1 tonight, or do I want to just call it like at the end of this day? Oh, right, I'm not actually advancing the game if I click out of the window. Oops. Just move this ever so slightly. Alright, so day 2, just need to make sure I talk to Mom and Summers again. And then I should be good to go. Again, I don't even have to bother touching Demon Tower anymore, which is great. If I had to beat that game again, I think I would probably just discontinue this entire journal achievement project. Like, it's not worth beating Demon Tower multiple times for this. Oh wait, is there something else I need to check up here, like a bookshelf or something? Not today, maybe? Wait, is this guy sure about this? Don't you need to check something like a bookshelf? Talk to Mother, talk to Summers. I guess I can just check on my own to be sure. Is there anything I can do? Oh, wait, did I move the, Oh, I didn't even realize I did. I had moved the game window, not realizing that would affect the OBS display as well. I just moved the game over a bit so I could look at the Google Doc. Okay, I guess we're good on the bookshelf for now then. Alright, so talk to Mom, talk to Summers. Alright, we have spoken to Mom. Am I on the right day here? I am now. And then we're done on this day, right? There's nothing else I need to check. Maybe check those clothesline ghosts, because I don't remember if I got that one or not. Which I can do by going up from here. Oops. Ugh. Come on, May, please. Please! Oh yeah, I think I did get that one last time. Which means that we should be good to go, right? Yeah, just go fix the computer. Skip Demon Tower, skip the Demon Tower good ending. I don't need it. We're moving on. Alright, and we are back home. And there's one more day in part 1, right? We can skip most of it. Alright, I might as well see this all the way to part 2. So I can start on the same day that I was when I started this stream next time. So again, I think I just need to make sure I talk to Mom and Selmers, and those are the only important actions. Because I've gotten all of the journal entries. Unless there's something on the bookshelf. Not today. Oh, whoops, I skipped Selmers. Let's not put myself in a state where I have to reset the game again, dude. I guess it seems like Steam guides have suggested there are ways to back up your saves so you can make sure you revert to a certain point. Which I should maybe consider doing that. So I don't have to deal with these resets so much. Beatrice Santello. Oops, I passed home, didn't I? Oh, right. So we made this important decision in the game last night. Maybe we should go for no taco percent this time. And just absolutely refuse tacos. We're friends again, Digits? What do you mean? Oh, because of the taco thing. Okay, it took a second. That clicked for me right before you typed no tacos. I was like, oh, because of the taco burrito rivalry. That's right. May doesn't need taco therapy in this game. She has burrito therapy right here. Go get Dead Angel Face. I wish that was a playable song in the game. It's this dialogue I'm breezing past. Shut up, douchebag. May and Greg. Hmm? Isn't Cole like meant to approach me or something? Maybe I have to talk to B one more time. Yeah, right. Now I'm supposed to go sit. I've been prompted. My favorite irrelevant character is in characters outside of like the, I guess the storyline characters, like outside of May, B, Greg, Angus, Laurie, and Germ. I don't know if you consider Selmer as an irrelevant character, but I like her a lot. She's probably my favorite outside of the main story characters, Selmer's. And, let's see, other than Summers, let me think. It's making me realize it's been a bit since I played the game. Oh, well, rabies is another really important one. Rabies isn't even a character that speaks, but super important. I remember Jackie being kind of a cool character at the college party. How, like, just out of nowhere, she yells something about how, like, fascists are not allowed in this party or something like that. I mean, Jackie was the character that B was just talking to at the party we were just at here earlier in the game. But yeah, I'd say overall, just in the entire game, probably my favorite characters are May, Greg, and Selmers. I wish we could get to know Casey a bit better in this game from, like, his story, because it sounds like, based on how he's described, that he would have been an interesting character as well. Oh, and I guess Bruce, too. I liked Bruce. He's worth mentioning. Bruce and Pastor K. The nice, cool, progressive pastor who wants to challenge the city council to let the homeless man sleep at the church. Alright, and that'll be it for part 1, right? Oh my god, it's so late. Why am I still streaming? This is crazy. Can't believe it. Part 2, Weird Autumn. Oh, the deer from Angus's shop. Yeah, the one who always talks in questions. She's funny too. I think the thing I like about this game the most is that just every character in the game, no matter how little role they have in the story, is interesting in their own way. They really just put a lot of effort into writing every character, making them feel believable, and making the town feel like a real place. Alright, we're in part 2, so we're going to end the stream there. You know, I actually have a fan theory about all the animals in this game, but I think I'll share that in a later stream. I have a fan theory that I think is pretty thoughtful and pretty juicy, that can be shared as we continue this playthrough. But for now, I'm going to find somebody to raid on Twitch. Why did I stream this late? I'm like official_grace. It's crazy. That'd still be going at this time. RPG Matt is live. What's he playing? Hollow Cure Save the Fans. What is this game? What is this? So let me see if anybody else is playing Night in the Woods right now. That's the thing I can always be on the lookout for. And I'm the only one playing Night in the Woods. Haha. What about the other games that I follow? Oh, somebody's playing Chicory right now. Ooh. Somebody's playing Chicory and they have like almost 80 viewers right now. That's a notable viewer count. Let me just make sure this person is like a nice, wholesome person real quick. Just be sure we're not raiding rude people. Oh, it says the streamer in their channel description that they stream wholesome story games. So that's notable. Hello, Kaiju. We're actually just about to end my stream, but you're welcome to follow my channel if you'd like to see more gameplay of Night in the Woods, if that's how you found me tonight. I will be continuing to play Night in the Woods on later days, but we are done playing the game for the night. But alright, I'm going to raid this streamer named Dolly the Dinosaur, who is a streamer from the Netherlands playing Chicory, and they like to play other wholesome games. I think that's the kind of person we like to raid. So, yeah, bummer. I'm the only person playing Night in the Woods, too. I was going to raid somebody else playing this game, but nobody else is at the moment, so... Yeah, thank you, Kaiju, and I hope we'll see you around. So we're going to raid... Let me think of... What's a good raid message for tonight? But what happened in Chicory? You need to think about. What was like a good like joke we can make about the game Chicory? Let's see. How about call dad for help? How's that for a raid message related to Chicory? Let me just look for a telephone emoji real quick. Call dad for help, telephone, oh my dog. Okay. Oh, I needed to have a space there, didn't I? Call dad for help, telephone, oh my dog. There it is. That's the effect I was going for. Alright. That'll be a raid message. Let me check the proper underscores for this person's username. It's 1 underscore for each, right? Dolly. Raid. Dolly underscore the underscore dinosaur. Alright, so thank you to those who have tuned in for tonight's stream of Night in the Woods. I will be continuing throughout the week. I will return to Tales of the Neon Sea at some point. Maybe after my first playthrough of Night in the Woods for the journal achievement is finished. Just so we're not getting a little too monotonous playing through Night in the Woods over and over and over again like this. So I'll probably break it up a bit. I'll have to probably pick up the pace because, as people have been watching have known, I only have a couple more weeks left in Japan and also need to focus on packing and such. So things are moving pretty quickly, a little bit too quickly, and I need to wrap up some of these last couple games before big life changes happen. So thank you to those who have watched. We're going to raid Dolly the Dinosaur, and I'll see you next time. Greg rules, okay? Call dad for help. The end.